I've always loved this tree. I call it the Kraken because when it has no leaves on it, it's like tentacles reaching up like that. Love that tree. Prague. Good afternoon, friends. So I landed in Prague yesterday, fairly late actually. Slept, and I'm now out for a walk with my old friend Paul.
Hello, everybody.
And I'm up at Letna, which is a beautiful park on a bit of a plateau overlooking the entire city, which has always been lovely. And that way you can almost see all 5 bridges. Anyway, off for brunch. Oh yeah. Right, at the heart of Prague Castle, with the cathedral behind me. Prague Castle is the largest ancient castle complex in the world, 70,000 square meters. And yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, really, as I mentioned before in a previous video, to me, it's a cathedral surrounded by apartment buildings on a very decent defensive position. For example, behind me is where the president lives, the president of Czech Republic, General Peter Pavel. But the cathedral is absolutely stunning, dominates the skyline of Prague, visible from almost everywhere. And this is the main thing. This is the Cathedral of St. Vitus. Originally, King Wenceslas I, Duke of Bohemia, built a Roman-esque shrine here in 930 AD, shortly after the castle itself was being sorted out. What we see here is a stunning example of Gothic architecture. 21st of November 1344, King John of Bohemia laid the first foundation stone of this building, and it is absolutely massive. It's a stunning building. This is the north side. The entrance to the cathedral is between the 2 towers there, and it has this amazing nave out back with flying buttresses that you can kind of see there all around. Absolutely gorgeous, and well worth coming to see whenever you're in Prague. Anyway. It works for me. Right, so I'm thinking that this thing is a fairly recent addition to the Prague riverways. It looks like it's a fun kind of motorized pontoon sort of situation where people rock up in their pedal boats and buy drinks and ice cream. And it looks really quite fun in that regard. Yeah. That's cool, but a little weird. Right, so behind me is the Orlov, the astronomical clock built into Prague Tower here in Staromestska Náměstí. It was installed in 1410, which makes it the oldest astronomical clock still functioning in the world. It was designed and built by a guy called Mikulus of Kadaň in 1410, and aside from renovation, has been continuously running since that time.
Yeah, no, I reset it last night. Didn't work.
Because
Agnes, I love you so much. Good afternoon, friends. So, being a little bit circumspect here because there are some very dedicated people cleaning, but I'm currently standing in the Church of St. Cyril and St. Methodius in Karlin in Prague. Honestly, it is my favourite church in this city because it's beautiful and yet restrained. And also, in the summertime, you walk in here and it's like a fridge, which is always very nice. St. Cyril and St. Methodius were the two guys in 875, I think, AD, who were credited with bringing Christianity to what was then Bohemia. And this place was built in the mid-19th century on the 1000th anniversary, on the millennial anniversary of that event. St. Cyril was a very smart man. He's actually the guy who invented the script for the Russian language, which is why it's called Cyrillic. Anyway, yeah. I've always loved this place. Yeah, the ceiling is just stunning. Yeah. Anyway, I'm on my way to get some food, then Stary Mexican Amnesty, then the pub, and then to the theatre. Oh yes. Hello friends. Well, I was going to stop off in Westglavsky Amnesty, Wenceslas Square, and I had quite a good lecture about the Velvet Revolution worked out, but honestly it's absolutely rammed with, and it's got stages and construction works going on, so I'll do that when I'm back here in a month. But this is the Estate Theatre, and one of my very favourite places. This is where I'm coming tonight. You'll see up top there, Patriae et Muses, to the native land and the muses. This place opened in 1783. It's built in the neoclassical style, and so close to uniquely. Almost nothing's been changed inside. It's been painted and maintained, and they've recovered the seats and they've replaced the curtains, but the actual layout, which you will see later, has not been changed for all of that time. I always have box number 15 when I come here. This evening will be my 38th visit to the theatre, and it makes me quite happy that 4 years after this place opened in 1787, Mozart conducted the premiere performance of Don Giovanni. There's a little plaque on the stage where he stood, and some lucky bastard watched that performance from my box. And it's my box. Anyway, just walking down to Stary Mexican Amnesty, Old Town Square. I'm going to stop off there for a minute or two, and then I'm going to the pub for an hour before the theatre. Anyway. Right, so Old Town Square, Stary Mexican Amnesty in Czech, and it never gets old, even though it is pretty old. Right, so this Prague Tower, and the astronomical clock is against that. I did that earlier. And this here is the Church of Our Lady of Tin with a Y. It is, and it's saying quite a lot, that it's the dominant structure in this square. It's very Gothic in style. There was, in the 11th century, there existed a Romanesque church on the same spot. But like many Romanesque churches, it was knocked down and replaced by a more modern Gothic one. It really is quite magnificent. It was constructed in 1256. And if you look, the two towers are different sizes. It takes you a second. It took me about a month after I moved here to recognize that. Anyway. And fortunately, because it's a very, very hot day today, the James Joyce, the pub which I frequent, is 5 minutes walk that way. Now, it's quite rare that I, on this channel, nascent as it may be, heartily recommend an establishment for eating and drinking, but the James Joyce is home. So if you're in Prague, if you live in Prague, that's obvious. Many of my people do. But if you're coming to Prague, it is the only Irish pub in the city. You've got Irish bars all over the place, but it's the Irish pub. Major expats hang out, good food, better beer, all that sort of thing. Anyway.